The deed has been done. Finally got my Saquon jersey that I promised you guys I would. The only other jersey I think I need to get now is a Texans one, and I'm all caught up on my bets. And I know about the perming my hair bet I made with Aaron Rodgers and his interceptions. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to give me the green light on that. She doesn't like it, but I told her if I don't perm my hair, I'm gonna have to dye it green, so what's it gonna be? Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and happy Tuesday. In today's video, I'm going to be honoring a request from last week, and I want to apologize in advance. I cannot go back and find out who you are because I can't remember what video it's on, and I tried to look, and it didn't pop up. But anyway, a viewer of mine requested that I should make a video about players who I think deserve a second chance in the NFL, and I thought that was a really good idea. So again, thank you for the recommendation, and that's what we're gonna do today. Keep in mind, when I say a second chance in the NFL, it doesn't exactly mean they're not in it, but it means like they've lost their job. They're not in the role that they once were, and they still could be, and basically I'm saying that I would give them another chance if I had a team. Couple quick things as always. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And two, if you're 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so I think I've got 14 people on this list, so I'm gonna move kinda fluently because I got some stuff to do, but let's begin. First person I think deserves a second chance in the NFL is Kareem Hunt, and I mean that in the sense that he never got back to the role where he once was. For those who don't know, Kareem Hunt was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs in I think 2017, and he was insanely good, still is really good. But then he had a domestic violence case that really did not help him since it was caught on camera. He was cut from the Chiefs, took like a year off, was picked up by the Browns, served his suspension, and now he's back, but he's in a backup role to Nick Chubb. He is entering free agency, but it still doesn't seem like there's any teams that are really, stabbing at the bit to have him as their number one. Okay, if I was building a team, I 100% would. I think that guy could have a top 5 talent. I get people make mistakes. What he did was wrong, but like I said, I would bring Kareem Hunt back into a number one role. Alright, up next we got Alex Leatherwood. Now, I understand the Raiders may have drafted him too early, but they also gave up on him a little bit too early. It's not like he was supposed to go undrafted or something. He was supposed to be a second to third round pick, if I'm not mistaken. They just happened to grab him in the first. Okay, then it looks a lot worse when he doesn't grow and develop immediately, hence that's the reason he was cut within a year. And I think that was a mistake. The Bears might have something. I don't think they're going to plan on using him day one, but if he turns into the guy that the Raiders wanted him to be, Justin Fields is going to grow a lot because he's going to have time. Get Alex Leatherwood with a good set of coaches, people who will work with him. A guy his age with his size who possesses his talent, I mean, it seriously is endless possibilities. I would give him a shot. After Alex Leatherwood, we're on to John Ross. Oh! I wanted him to be good. I still want him to be good. He still could be good. For those wondering, John Ross was like the number 4, number 5 overall pick to the Cincinnati Bengals back in 2018. Sorry, it was 9th overall by the Bengals, but this guy was supposed to be Tyreek Hill. Small, but just lightning quick. However, he just got hurt, and then before you know it, he lost his playing time, and then he was healthy scratched, and then dropped and picked up, and he was on the Giants the last I heard. Might sound weird, and maybe it's just a personal obsession, but I would give this guy a shot, dude. If I was building a team and I needed someone to throw in the slot or on the exterior, he could still be an elite deep threat. He just needs someone that will give him a second chance. Alright, moving on to the next guy. We don't have a lot of defenders on the list, but Reuben Foster, and this one might be controversial as well, but I don't care. Reuben Foster was a linebacker drafted in 2017 by the San Francisco 49ers. He nearly won Rookie of the Year, and then into his second season, he was caught with a domestic violence charge. Then he was waived in. He didn't have a lot to do while all that was going on. Now, if I heard right, I want to say the charges were dropped, but I don't want to stick my nose where it doesn't belong. Either way, the Commanders ended up picking him back up, but he tore his ACL and he got hurt again. And then he just ended up never getting his opportunity to come back to the league. Again, people make mistakes. If the charges were dropped, then absolutely bring him back. And if they weren't, I would like to think he's grown within the 5 years time where I can bring him back to our team as a linebacker and he's not going to do anything dumb. Might be iffy with some people, but I would give Reuben Foster another shot. All right, up next, we've got Clyde OLeary, and Clyde's story is a little bit wild. He was drafted in the first round after the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and he was actually kind of hand-selected by Patrick Mahomes, too, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, the next year, Clyde had a really hot start to the season and then kind of battled a little injury, and ever since then, they have used him less and less and less to the point where he was healthy scratched. I would have thought they were going to use him a lot this year after how he started, but no, they brought in Jerick McKinnon and started using Pikachu. Like, I get it, Clyde might be chilling on a Super Bowl team, but if I was him, I would want to go somewhere else where I can get a consistent role as a number one and prove to people that I'm not bad. Because I don't think he is. I think Clyde could actually be really, really good. He's just got to go to a different team. And if I was building a team tomorrow, I would have no issue bringing Clyde on my roster at all. He can catch, he can run. Not the biggest guy ever, but I have faith that he could be good. All right, up next, we got another head scratcher, and I love these ones because I love stirring the pot. It is Mitch Trubisky. Yes. I think coaching matters. I think your situation matters. We saw Trubisky in Chicago when Matt Nagy believed in him. He was not bad at all. Then he got hurt. Matt Nagy lost interest. He was terrible. Then Trubisky goes to Buffalo, backs up Josh Allen. We got to see him play a preseason game against the Bears under Brian DeBall. Guess what? He was elite. Then he entered free agency, impulsively chose to go to the Steelers, a place with a terrible offensive line and a place where he knew they were probably going to draft a quarterback, and once again lost his job. The thing about it is Mitch didn't do that good this year, but Kenny did even worse. I don't think a lot of people were going to have success in that system unless you were like a seasoned vet. If I was a team like the Raiders, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe the Panthers, I would consider taking a shot at Mitch Trubisky. I know I sound nuts. All right, after Mitch Trubisky, we've got kind of an old one, but I always wanted to see him come back, and he never did. It was Earl Thomas. Now, when I say second chance here, it's not the fact that Earl Thomas lost his job due to him being a bad player. We all know Earl Thomas is probably a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he lost his job due to a rather weird incident that I'm not really going to dig into. You can look it up, and we never saw Earl come back. Okay, the guy hasn't played in 4 years. He left the league in his late 20s. Imagine a team that would have taken a stab at him who really needed a safety. I think they would have benefited greatly. Never was happy with the way his career ended. I'm sorry, Earl. After Earl Thomas, we've got Baker Mayfield. This one's pretty obvious. I think a lot of people would give him a second chance, and he absolutely deserves it. He's been through it, man. He's walked through the fire all year. But you know what he didn't do? He didn't give up, not for a second, and he ended the year as a starting quarterback, and he ended on a pretty solid note, honestly. This guy changed the culture of Cleveland. He paved the way for the team you have right now, which, honestly, you just did worse without him than you probably would have done with him. Yes, he's a loudmouth. He's not the most orthodox person to have around your locker room, but he's got talent, and most importantly, he has good intentions with his stuff. He's a weird character, and I would bring Baker Mayfield back for a second chance if I could. And also, I'll give you the story of why he was kicked out of Cleveland because it's hilarious, actually. He was kicked out of Cleveland so they could have Deshaun Watson, the guy who had 22 impending lawsuits. All right, up next, we'll go to Cam Akers. I've kind of talked about him recently, but I would absolutely take another stab at Cam Akers. Cam Akers was a really promising running back who was drafted by the Rams. Now, I don't think he really had much of a starting role until the end of his rookie year, but then after that, when he was supposed to be the man in LA in the preseason, he blew out his Achilles. Okay, that sidelined him for the entire year, but they brought him back for a late season playoff push where the Rams ultimately won the Super Bowl, but a lot of people think that's what held Cam back. Is they rushed him back from his injury because he wasn't good. And then to start this year, he wasn't good. He was really bad. But as the year progressed and he kind of sat on the bench and got healthier, he disputed with the team a little bit about going somewhere else. They decided to give him another opportunity, and he ended the year with the biggest bang possible. I'm assuming the Rams are going to give him a second chance, but if they weren't, I would not be hesitant whatsoever if I saw him on the free agency. After Cam Akers, we've got my former boy, Antonio Gibson. I think he deserves a second chance as a number one running back in the league, 100%. Antonio's story, it's pretty simple. Injuries and ball security. He got hurt all the time and he fumbled all the time. You can't do that. I get it. But understand the talent he has and the age he is. Like, let him grow. I mean, this guy had 11 rushing touchdowns his rookie year. The next season he had 7 and broke 1,000 rushing yards. But he ended bad, started this year bad. Brian Robinson came back from his injury, and that was basically it. I think Antonio Gibson could be just like Christian McCaffrey. You gotta find someone who's willing to take the chance with him. Next up, we got James Robinson, and I mean, this one I still don't understand. James was an undrafted free agent in 2020. Believe that's the year Fournette started there and got cut. Either way, when James took over as the starter, he ended his rookie season with 1,000 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, 300 receiving yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 4.4 yards a carry. Next year, they tried to get rid of him and drafted Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne blew out his Achilles, missed the whole year, but Urban Meyer still tried to hold James back, forcing James to miss like half of his season, but then Urban got fired, James got to play, and guess what? 767 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.7 yards a carry. Then this year, I kinda understand a little bit why Jacksonville strayed away. Etienne finally got to play, he went off, they didn't really need James anymore, so they sent him to New York because Breece Hall got hurt. And that was the last we heard of James Robinson. We never saw him again. Why not give him another shot? The guy's elite, and for any Jets fans saying, oh dude, he was the least productive running back on our team, he was in your system for like 2 weeks! Isn't it kind of weird in Jacksonville this year how he averages 4.2 yards a carry, but in New York it's 2.9? You never even gave him a shot. Someone better pick him up. After James Robinson, we've got Romeo Dobbs. I understand he probably hasn't been given up on, but if Green Bay's thinking about it, I definitely wouldn't. I would 100% give this guy a second opportunity. I still think he's the most talented receiver on their team, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. I really just want to see what he looks like with a different quarterback, because I feel like if he misses one catch, Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw to him for a month. Speedy, he's got great hands, he can run a hell of a route. Like, I don't think there's any issue with Romeo Dobbs at all. All right, up next, we've got Trey Lance. I would 100% give him a second chance if I was the 49ers or any other team. I think he is very good. Or he's gonna be very good. He's just had the most unfortunate start to his career ever. Drafted by San Francisco, sits behind Jimmy for a year, nothing wrong with that. And then when he's supposed to start, he snaps his ankle in half. And then after that, Mr. Irrelevant comes in, balls out, and nearly brings the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. Okay, like I just said, if I'm San Fran, I'm gonna keep Trey, but even if I'm not San Fran, I'm gonna be chomping at the bit if I know Trey's available. And yeah, if you're thinking I'm kind of grabbing at air here, you're right. But at the same time, we haven't gotten to see that he's bad. I think we've seen more good than bad from the small play we've seen from him. He's just unfortunately made of glass. And last on the list, we've got Will Fuller. I'd give Will Fuller a second chance. For anybody who doesn't know about Will Fuller, he used to be on the Texans. He was there when they had J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins. He was there when they were really good. And then DeAndre Hopkins got traded, so Will Fuller got to be a number 1, and he went off. Until he got busted with steroids. Then he was suspended and cut, picked up by the Dolphins. I think he got hurt. I never got to see him play. And we haven't seen him since. Will Fuller's still in his late 20s. And even though he does battle a hamstring injury every single year like T.Y. Hilton, the games he does play, he's explosive and he makes an impact. Tell him to keep the needles out of his arm and I'd bring him aboard. Alright guys, and that is it for my list of players that I think deserve a second chance in the NFL. Let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree, let me know who you think I missed. With everything I just said though, you guys know the drill. I'm gonna hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.